welcome to our favorite episode of the year of the JC Penny podcast. I'm your host, Sean Fitzgerald. With me, as always, my partner in crime, Jerry LeBlanc. We are doling out grades. This is truly my favorite episode of the podcast.
Best day of the year.
Season. It really is, and for you, it really is. So we
I'm
are
cautiously optimistic.
Shut up. Is that gonna be the championship title when you're there? Is Jerry's cautiously optimistic?
5 years ago, it was job's not finished, and
now you're coining a new mantra. Well, we're gonna dole out our midseason grades to everybody. So, I'm sure there are a lot of burning questions. What does Jerry get, given his dominance in the first half of the year? What does hashtag WoteWatch get? Will he indeed get an F? McMillan says is in the chat. Shout out to McMillan. Says he's not happy. What is his grade going to be? Window was in the chat earlier. Took a Tylenol PM. Might not be awake for his grade. Might not have been awake most of the season the way he was adding players that he had dropped in his sleep, I guess. So there's a lot that we're going to talk about. We don't need to do waiver report because we did last week's, and the waivers will go tonight. So we're going to get right into the recaps. Starting with. Let's see here. Starting with, it would be my matchup, I believe.
As always.
As always on this podcast, the Commissioner's matchup. There it goes. I was waiting for it to go, and it finally did. And there we go. Sorry about that. So yeah, I needed this win in a really, really bad way.
It wasn't looking great for you after Thursday night.
No, it was not. I was very down. I was hitting the panic button, as we all know in the chat. I was panicking when Jamar Chase puts up 30, Jaylen Warren puts up 17, and Aaron Rodgers put up a respectable 22. But the Steelers defense,
but he kind of came back
late.
I mean, he had I think 2 picks in the first half. I think he had like 4 points at halftime.
I was very unhappy at halftime.
Him finishing with 22 and a half, you cannot complain considering where he started.
It was the Steelers defense that drove me up a wall, and it was really because I was between them and the Patriots all day. I had the Patriots in at the start of that day. I went with the Steelers because they were red hot. They had gotten so many sacks. They were on fire, and they really had a bad game. But thankfully, my team came with the touchdowns on Sunday. Quinshon had a hat trick against the Dolphins. I did call that in our predictions that Quinshon was due for a huge day. I mentioned the Dolphins' abysmal run defense. Chris Olave and Trey McBride had monster days.
You really can't complain about picking up Jacoby Brissett on Sunday morning and him putting up almost 20.
Yeah, like every move I touched turned to gold. George Kittle was my one flaw. Was targeted, I think, only twice or 3 times, maybe tops, and did get an ice bagel for me. One of the 3 tight end ice bagels we had this week. 3 of the 4 ice bagels we've had this season came this week. And yeah, so like I'm over the moon.
Yeah, and not that it would have helped, but like Jaguars going -7 is brutal.
It was great.
I mean, he got nothing out of his running backs outside of Jamar. He really didn't get a lot out of his wide receivers. Like, as good as it looked on Thursday, combined 20 points out of Baker and Goff. It was just, Sunday was a bad day for McMillan.
Well, and this win could have put him at 4-3 and in the thick of that playoff conversation right now. And he's still not in a bad. McMillan's not in a bad place. He's still right in contention for it with everything. But this was I think I needed the win just a little bit more than he did, because 2-5 is not great.
No, and I feel like you also have to be really happy with your decision of dropping Tua, and then McMillan picks him up, leaves him on the bench, and he ends with negative.
Yeah. I mean, I saw, like, don't get me wrong, Tua was playing a tough defense this week. I'm not saying Tua won't have value the rest of the year, but bro, 3 interceptions too many times.
So I did just see this today. I don't know if it was legit. I saw it like somebody or Samantha randomly mentioned it to me. Tua, or is it true that Dolphins traded for Shedeur? I saw Samantha showed me a headline of that. I don't know if it was like 100% legit, but
I feel like that's a meme. I'm looking this up. Dolphins trade Shedeur.
Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't real. When I saw it, I was kind of like, dang, I thought
NFL fans are eyeing it.
Okay, so it's not official. Nothing like that's actually happening.
Like Tua and Shedeur was one post I just glanced at. Like, if the Dolphins go full rebuild and if the Browns want to take that contract,
I guess, but I don't know. Maybe Quinn Ewers gets the start this week. I hope not, considering I have, Achan. I think he probably still does better too. I mean, Tua had a bad game.
Tua starts this week. He's got
I
one
think
more
he does.
week, at least. If we lose again, I could see them cleaning house. But it's disappointing. Just really quick as a Dolphins fan, and I don't want to get too into this, but it's the end of an era. It's obviously when you lose to the Browns to go 1-6,
And you don't lose to the Browns. You get
mollywopped.
dog walked by the Browns. I mean,
yeah, it's like, okay, so our season's over. It was one of the most depressing losses I've had as a Dolphins fan. It felt like we weren't like this team wasn't dead. This team was like could be frisky and fun. It could be competitive, and it just all went like, what's that? Nothing can go wrong. Oh no, it all went wrong. Like it's everything is awful. Yeah. So, but anyway,
yeah, I mean, overall, got to feel good. Lamar didn't play. Kyler didn't play. Puka Nacua didn't play. You still not put up 155 points. Can't.
And even some good stuff out of my bench. Yeah, I'm on cloud 9. So moving into matchup number 2, man, Alex with 180, the second highest, not even the highest score of the week with 180. But I mean, you feel bad for Scotty here. He was 4th in scoring. 144 is good enough to win 95% of the time. And there are 4 teams this week that he would have beaten by essentially almost 50.
50, yeah.
It's nuts.
I mean, it's pretty gross. You get like over 30 out of Jonathan Taylor. You get 40 out of Bo Nix. And here's your L. Like,
it's brutal. It's savage.
I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs went off. The Browns defense, we just talked about, just put a hurting on the Dolphins. And he actually I mean, I feel like there were points that were left behind. I mean, Jalen Waddle had 2. Rachaad White only got 6.5. He's actually getting the value out of Kyle Pitts. I'm kind of mad about, but
the production out of Pittman and Addison on his bench instead of Waddle
still there. Yeah,
Alex could have finished with a 200 point day, which is absurd. We never had 200s.
I don't think we've had 200. I could be wrong.
I can't ever remember a 200 performance. That will be whoever gets 200 first. You get your episode title. Like, it's gonna be named after you. But I mean, the Chargers stack puts up 50. I guess Keenan Allen can ball. Like,
we talked about this. Keenan Allen going like after like week 1, we're like, Keenan Allen's 35 years old. He's washed. He's done. And it's like, no, he was just playing for the. He was just playing for the Browns. We talked about it. It's like, no, maybe he actually can play. I mean, this is wide receiver 8 right now. Like, he's.
That's the depressing part about the Dolphins is if Jalen Waddle, if any of these players who are having bad down years went to any other team, they'd be Pro Bowlers. And I'm sure it would happen. Anyway, and it helps when your defense puts up 25, like you mentioned.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a 23-point swing. I mean, not that it wouldn't quite made the difference here, but a 23-point swing on the defense would have made it a lot closer.
So Alex is that kid like at the end of a test where he's just filling in all the bubbles, but they're all right answers. He's guessing. He has maybe like 1 minute until the test is done. He's got 10 to 12 questions to go. He's just guessing A, C, D, C, B, B, and it happens to be the right answers. So yeah. Moving
overall, I don't think Scotty's too upset. Obviously, taking the L here sucks, but I think we'll get into the standings later. He's still at the top of towards the top of the table. He's putting up points. I don't think he's going to be too upset.
Mentioning in the chat that McMillan said to send 2 out of the Raiders, it's their quarterbacks go to die, and that Burchak said the Browns were his 3rd choice off waivers. Worked out nicely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about hashtag Wote Watch. Oh my goodness. This was, if you were watching this matchup last night, This is why we do this, right? This is the kind of matchup that you can just sit in the bath, in bed, like whatever you're doing, you can sit on your phone and just watch watch the game, watch what's happening. Like, oh man, this is great. It's delicious.
I'm so mad. James goes out and gets a win with 95 points.
Yeah, no, I mean, of course, the fantasy gods are merciful.
We'll get into the next matchup, but like James was this close to being ninth in points scored and winning.
Yeah,
and you look at it and like he didn't make the right decision on some of these. So he could have. I don't know. I think hasn't broken 100 since week 1 when he put up like 120.
Correct.
Could have had 100 points this week. Like we talked about. I know you've been big on Woat Watch, but like it's really hard to do as bad as Taylor Horn did in whatever season that was. 111-1 is really hard to do. And this is like exactly why. Like, no, it just takes 1 week of him not even having a good day. He didn't even have a good day. Like, I feel like right now the average point, he just had something. Like, you can play anybody who just randomly has a worse day.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it hurts Windows so much because he spent so much of his budget on Jackson Dart and then doesn't play him. And Jackson Dart goes out, puts up 29 points. Like, it literally was the difference in a win and a loss here.
And a huge win and a loss because for Window.
Yeah.
So Window
needs the points too.
Window needs that was what hurts more than the loss is the points. Like, yes, wins are important, especially for teams that aren't that are kind of competitive but not like in a good position in the standings. But like if you're gonna be in the wild card hunt, you got to get points. And to have we talked about Window having a monster day last week. This week goes out and has a terrible day. It's tough, man. It's really I don't know.
I mean, outside of Bijan, just nobody went big. He had a couple of down, like Caleb Williams only putting up less than 5.
Yeah. I will say of his quarterbacks, to give a little unsolicited fantasy advice, of his quarterbacks, if there's one that's a must start, it's Jackson Dart.
It's Jackson Dart at this point. You can't not start
Jackson Dart. You play the matchup on Williams and Stroud, but Jackson Dart is a lock until he's not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very surprised he did not start him. I guess it was the matchups. Although I don't love the CJ Stroud versus Seattle matchup. So
yeah,
and I guess Denver is kind of like the best defense. They get after the quarterback better than anybody. But I'm very surprised that he benched.
But it's in Seattle too.
It is. That's true.
Anyway, I just want to say I do think Windows still, like I said before, in the thick of it. For James, I'm happy he got a win, and now he only needs one more win to avoid
one win.
One win will end Woat Watch. He's still technically on probation, but Travion Henderson hugely disappointing. I don't think
you can start. Honestly, he's borderline droppable.
I wouldn't drop him at this point. Sunk cost fallacy, but like, yeah, I mean it's I don't get it. He's
not getting the touches. Like I don't think he's had double digit touches since like, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, no, in week 6 he ended up having 10. It's just I don't know. He's had
one week of double digit touches all year. He's had his receptions are where week 1 he had six catches.
Yeah, but I mean again he only had 5 carries then. So you're talking about 11, 5, 14, 9, 8, 10. And then this week he had 2 touches, two against the Titans.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So, James is still obviously. I don't. Let me ask this. Maybe we'll save this later. But like, we talked about. I don't know what James does. The question I want to plant the seed in now, and maybe we can get it in the chat is there any hope for James? I'm gonna make this the poll question. We don't need to answer it now. But
I don't think so. But I will say this. He finally got his first win. He's this close to being outside of Woat Watch. Look at his bench and look at the first 2 people.
Josh Allen, Derrick Henry.
He got a win without either one of them. That's why I think it is so hard to actually be on Woat Watch at this point in the season. Because, no, even without his 2 best players, he was able to go out and get a win. Like, that's why I believe James will at least get 2 wins this season, which is all he needs.
Yep.
One more win, and we are
Well,
halfway through the season. So,
speaking of matchups where both players scored 100 points, but somebody had to win, Jason Smith gets a huge win for him.
massive.
I mean, this is the equivalent of like Window getting that win, the same win. This is you. Your chances are so much better now, particularly for Jason, where his points scored are so low.
Yeah, Jason could not afford to lose this game, and he was able. I mean, it's nice when you play against the lowest ranked scorer in the league.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was 7th somehow, but he scored under 100.
Yeah.
The only silver lining for him, and Dak actually, I hate that I missed on Dak. That I should have run it back with Dak to the well. I could have done it, and it would have been, my team would be so much better than this Kyler bullshit. But it's my fault. But Dak and Javonte look amazing, and Chase Brown is still kind of like in formish.
I'm just still so confused because Jason still sits with 2 top 5 quarterbacks. He still sits with 2 top 7 running backs. Or I guess James Cook, because he just had the bye, technically sits at 10 right now. Garrett Wilson had the bye, and I guess he's hurt, so who knows if he's going to be back this week. But like, he sits with like 2 top 15 wide receivers. Like, I don't understand how he still only puts up 100 points. He has the players. The players are good. They just never hit in the same week for him.
Yeah.
And Chase Brown looked a lot better. Didn't get into the end zone. I don't think he scored 1 touchdown all year. So like, that's not great.
He's had too many bad performances across the board from players. It's true feast or famine with his team, and that's keeping his average down. We'll get to his total points scored.
Yeah, we'll get into the
standings.
It's
not looking good. Meanwhile, but as bad as this, loss could have been for Jason, it's as bad for Brad. I mean, we talked about
3 straight losses.
3 straight losses. He is still nowhere near the top in points.
The problem, it's not just that he's lost 3 straight. It's that he's lost 3 straight while putting up like no points in the process. I don't think I'm actually like really curious now how many what he's averaging over the last 3 weeks.
Well, and I hate to say this, but like, I'm not saying I would have started a different lineup than Brad, but Devontae Smith was the difference. I mean, Devontae Smith is that borderline play. Devontae Smith is the next man up in this roster.
Devontae Smith is just so like, he again is just the definition of boomer bust. It's like
he won me the title.
25 or he does nothing.
He won me the title by dropping multiple touchdowns and having a career day. But he is the same kind of player as on Jason's team, feast or famine.
Yeah. So obviously, we can see that Brad only put up 88 points this week. Guess what he's averaging over the last 3?
Like 95.
Just north, 96.6 is what he's averaging.
Yeah,
like, it's a bad time to be Brad. To go just from 4-0, like a 3-week stretch, like it's when like the league average right now, I think is like 120 points a game. Like going for under, like getting 25 under the average per week is just so rough.
I'll be honest, and this might not be very nice. So I don't know if anyone noticed, but last night I went to where that Team of Destiny tag was.
I saw you unpinned it.
I unpinned it. I am no longer convinced that Brad is a Team of Destiny. I am willing to let that die.
After the first 4 weeks, was 100% convinced he was the Team of Destiny.
Are you still convinced?
Yes.
Wow.
Because despite him losing 3 straight, he still sits in playoff position. And if he rattles off a couple of wins, he's right back in it.
Yeah, and honestly, all you need to do is make the playoffs and then win 3 coin flips. We talked about that before.
And like, let's be real. He only probably needs to win 3 out of the next 7 to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like that's right. Sometimes that's all you need is you can go 7-7 and make the playoffs.
He might get another James bye in that next 7 weeks. Like, I'm back to the James. Is there any hope for James? Only 2 votes in the poll. Both say yes. So I like that our league
to make the playoffs. There's no way he makes the playoffs at this point.
I mean, I hope that
he's so far behind. There's just literally no way. I'm
gonna end the poll and clarify. It might be the same poll, but
he's 3 games back on 5th and like 200. I mean, we're gonna get into the standings in here in just a second so we can look at it. We can. You don't have to end the poll yet. We can wait until we're into the standings.
Well, I want to make no. I'm restarting the poll to. I said to clarify: is there any chance James makes the playoffs? Let's be clear about what I meant by. I'm not saying he's going to like.
Oh, it's like, is there any chance that he doesn't end up like as the worst of all time? Like that's a different conversation than making the playoffs.
Yeah. I wasn't asking if he was the woad. I wasn't asking like, is there any hope for him? Like he's going to go swallow the stuff under the sink. I'm saying like, I'm saying that is there any hope for him to make the playoffs? To be clear. So, yeah, I think we said it all about Brad's team.
Yeah.
Moving on to our last matchup of the week, Zach in a huge, facing a huge opponent, came up short. But I mean, you can't be too upset putting up 120. It just sucks to go against the top scorer of the week and have him. I think Zach's been getting games dropped on him this year.
Yeah, I think he's towards the end of the standings where he is one of the worst in points against. I actually think he may be the worst.
He may be the worst. Like, and it doesn't help to get 184 dropped on your head, but like, I guess what I'm getting at is Zach is still like Zach has a better spot right now than McMillan, better spot right now than a lot of teams in the league. He is on the inside looking out when it comes to the playoff picture. Are you happy with the 120 here?
I think he needs to be. I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's a problem. I'm not 100%. Again, we're going to get into the standings and where he's at. I think he's like middle of the table in points for, but he's a box. So he's 4-3. He's only one game back on the bye. Like,
I would argue he's
there's
not
still plenty
getting
of time
that boxy, given how many points
he's not been.
on
He's
him.
not been as boxy this year. But
this is the least boxy I've seen Zach.
I'm just saying the fact that he is number one in points against and, casually sitting in fourth place with a game up on the, like, what is he, 2 games? Is he actually 2 games up on, no, yeah, just one. He is only one game up on being on the bottom 5, but
yeah,
no, I mean, it was funny. So me and Zach were watching the games together on Sunday, and going into, like he said, going into the 1:00 games, I was like an 80% favorite, and we are halfway through. I was projected, I think, for like 175, and he was projected for 110. We're halfway through the 1:00 games. My projection had gone down by 15, and his projection had gone up by 30. Like, I was like, this is the start of it. It's going to happen. Now, obviously, I held on. I ended up getting some big performances late, but
I mean, bro,
I fully expected to lose this matchup after, like, midway through the 1:00 games.
No.
He also he ended up making some decisions based on injuries that worked out like perfectly for him. He was like on the fence about starting Mike Evans, who played, but instead decided to throw Rashi. Actually, might have been Marvin Harrison. And I think he when Deebo Samuel was rolled out, it's when he put in Rashi Rice. Yeah. But it's like, I think Rashi Rice looked awesome. Patrick Mahomes looks awesome. Jaden Daniels got hurt, but he still has. Actually, Sam Darnold had a down day, but it still sits as QB 13. Bucky Irving is coming back. I think there's still a lot to like about his team. Like, and the Patriots refused to give up on Ramondre Stevenson.
That is correct. I grant you Ramondre, but you haven't talked about the biggest concern for Zach. There are 2. Their names are Jaden Daniels and Mike Evans, because they both suffered injuries that could be significant. Jaden Daniels, we're talking about a hamstring, obviously. Yeah. I don't. His health is. He's already had a health issue once this year. But we saw with George Kittle, he went on IR for like 5 to 6 weeks with a hamstring. I don't know I don't know anything about the severity of Jaden Daniels' injury. I haven't heard anything about it.
I think they said that he had an MRI and it was like clean, if I'm remembering correctly. So it's not like significant, but who knows how long. You're right, though. How long is he going to be out?
How long is it might be. It could be a couple weeks. Could be worse. Could be less. Who knows?
And obviously that reduces his floor as a quarterback if he doesn't have the same rushing ability.
The bigger problem is Mike Evans.
And he did break his collarbone.
So he is going to be done for...
if not for the year, real close to it.
And given that we play a 17-week fantasy season, that makes it even less likely that, we're going to see him again this year. It's a huge loss there of a starting wide receiver. It's having Rashee Rice put up 20 is some consolation, especially with Deebo, right there. But it is a loss for his team, and he's not like we'll get into the standings later, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's a powerhouse team. He's not
No,
you. He's
no.
not.
I mean, my team has performed very, very well, and I feel
Yeah.
very good. I also like my depth. Like, I picked up Travis Hunter as like a okay, and Christian Watson this week. I picked up both of them, saying like, if either one of them can be like a flex level receiver for me while I'm trying to like get through bye week hell, that'd be great. Travis Hunter finally had a good game.
Yep.
Christian Watson hasn't played yet. I'm hoping he's back this week. But like
DeAndre Swift had a great day.
I'm still I'm yeah, and I like kind of the same thing I said last week where I'm like I was on the fence about a couple of guys. Like I was on the fence between DeAndre Swift and J.K. Dobbins. I picked wrong. I still put up 185 points.
That's what's scary.
I was on the fence between Hunter Henry and Darren Waller. Darren Waller gets hurt.
We talked about Alex could have put up 2 hundos. The same applies, right?
Yeah,
I don't think it was I don't think it was as realistic for you, given that you would have had to have started DeAndre Swift and then
Hunter Henry in place of. I mean, that would have been it. That would have given me 200. Just those two swaps.
You're right.
Darren Waller,
so like,
Hunter Henry.
So yeah, which was so 200 was totally feasible for you. And so like,
and I will say I've continued to get lucky. I said it last week on the pod. Like, I stream defenses every week. I stream another defense. I get another 13 points. At some point, that luck is going to run out.
Sure, you're due for a bad week, but the fact that you keep booming, leading the league in scoring. Again, we'll get to grades now, but like, you have to be very happy. So this is actually a great segue.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
I'm sure. I bet you are. Instead of doing the standings as we normally do, let's get right into our mid-season grades. I think it's time.
Let's get it.
So, without further ado, welcome to our mid-season grades. Now, I haven't displayed the grades on your screen yet because I want to keep them a secret for everyone. There's no spoilers here. But I'm showing you what the standings are, the points scored for everyone, the points against for everyone. You can see, as I mentioned earlier, Zach has been getting the most points dropped on him, as Jerry mentioned. Jerry leads the league in scoring, with myself in second, Alex in third, Scotty in fourth, and I think that rounds out the 900 club. So I guess the way I'll do this is just because I've got the animations ready. So I'll start with the first grade. You'll give the second grade, and we'll average them out. I did, because I'm a merciful commissioner, where there was on a borderline, the average, I rounded up. I went with the higher of the two.
Grading on a curve
grades.
here, huh?
I'm trying to help. I'm trying to give a little bump because we want everyone to pass. Now, I will be honest, not everyone did passes. Pass. but we try. We really do. So Jerry is first, and I didn't look back. I wanted to. I didn't have time, but I don't think I have ever given an A+ as a grade before until today.
Wow.
I gave you an A+. I don't know how. Again, the only thing that I could say about should you get, like, only thing that would make your case stronger is being undefeated. Like, yes. That is literally the only thing. That's not.
Yeah.
When you score 1,000 points in 7 weeks, when you are 6-1, when you, especially being in form as you are, dominating the scoring in the last couple weeks, like, it's absolutely a no-brainer for me. You are an A+. You literally can't ask for more.
So, I guess so. Should I just say my grade now that I gave myself? Or
well, the last thing I want to say about it is, you have never, since week 1, you have been in the top 4 scorers every week. The last 2 weeks, you've led the league in scoring, is what I'm referring to. So now, if you want to give your grade, by all means.
So, I thought about giving myself an A+. Obviously, first in the standings, first in points scored. I gave myself just an A. I want to go ahead and throw it on the screen. And the reason that I did that is pretty simply like, I could be 7-0. I made about 4 wrong decisions in week 1, and that would have put me at 7-0 if I'd done like any of those ones differently. Like if I'd started J.K. Dobbins, if I had started Kyle Pitts. I think I also had a wide receiver situation. I think I started I don't remember who I started. Like I could have started a different wide receiver. I had a lot of options that I could have had. And every week I sit here and I feel like I say like, oh, I was on the fence between like these guys and I picked wrong. And at some point I think that's going to cost me. And it's not even like my team's the problem. It's me making the wrong decisions. So I did not feel I should give myself an A plus in that situation. So I did give myself an A. I'm still happy with where I'm at. But man, if I had won that week one matchup against Alex, I'd be 7-0, and the next closest person be 4-3. Oh man, that would have been an A plus.
I again, so because our grade
Like
fell between an A and an A plus, I had to round up on the average, which means you did get an A plus as your grade ultimately.
okay.
But bro,
I don't know. Like imagine if I'm 7-0, 3 games up, and I have another 100 points on my
I
score.
get it, but like, bro,
Like,
you're a team of destiny right now.
I am not a team of destiny.
You are.
I am a team that does well in the regular season all the time and then just dies in the playoffs.
This is, you've had a couple bad seasons. Like you've had a couple Sackos in between. Not to be the bad guy, but like this might be the best team you've ever had.
I agree. And that's what makes me so scared about it.
Yeah, Devon Achane and Christian McCaffrey.
The 3 years that I have either won the championship or been in the championship, do you know what my seed was for the playoffs? All 3 years was the same. I was the 6th seed in every single one.
You're not used to doing this.
I have never had, actually, no, that's not true. I think in the year I lost to McMillan, I think I was not the 6th seed. I could be wrong. But both of my championships, I was the 6th seed with a losing record, snuck into the playoffs, and then go on a run.
Yep.
My team's too good. That's the problem. It's eventually gonna let me down.
You poor thing. All right, going to Alex next. I gave Alex an A minus.
Wow.
I'm actually fairly big on Alex's team. I think it is a little bit of recency bias, but like for context, if Alex had Brad's schedule, he'd be 7-0. Alex is actually a sneaky good team. He's never had a bad week this year. He was the second highest scorer last week. We talked about his scoring. He's third in scoring, with where he currently sits. And I will say, if you look at the points scored from first to eighth, there's a gap. Like there are only 4 people who are at 900. Then Zach is at 877. McMillan's at 880 as well. But then there's that fall off to Window at 860, and then Brad, Jason Smith, and James are in distant positions behind. Alex is in a fantastic position to compete for a bye. He's in a fantastic position to, at the very least, how many more does he have to win to make the playoffs? 2 of the next 7 with where he's at in points? 3, he's a lock. So, like...
Probably, yeah.
For a team that's never been, I think, below, like, 7th in points scored in a given week, and a team that has been above half the league, I think 5 of the 7 weeks in the season, yeah, I get, it's hard for me not to give an A with where he sits.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I had kind of a linear progression that I had grade-wise. I didn't give anybody the same grade twice. Just throwing that out there, a little spoiler. So knowing where I land with other people on this list, so I gave Alex a B, and it's a solid B because again, I didn't give anybody an A plus. His team has been good. Again, I'm one of 3 or 4 decisions away from him being 4-3, and again, he's still third in points scored. Still a very solid team. Obviously, I think he's making the playoffs. I don't think there's any way at this point he misses the playoffs. His team's too good.
Yeah. So again,
my grading is a little bit more down a line. Like I said, I didn't give it the same grade twice.
Reasonable minds can differ. I think what's beautiful is between us, I think the averages of our grade are a really fair assessment of where these teams stand, like the appropriate grade that each of them should get. So Alex's grade averages out to a B plus, which I think is very fair for him. Then we get to Scotty. Now, I gave Scotty a B plus. I think Scotty is an interesting person to look at because he really didn't start out. I mean, obviously he had a really his worst week was week 1. But he's just kind of his points are he does have a significant gap between him and Zach and McMillan and the rest of the points scored folks. He's got a little breathing room there. He's over 500. You know, I think overall Scotty is good. I think he's coming. Yeah, it's.
Let's just say I think his team is good. He's obviously getting carried by like Jonathan Taylor is a monster. And again, it's good. That's I don't know how else to say it. Like that's all I can really say about his.
Maybe team. A B+ is a little bit generous for him,
and I think it is considering where I'm at. I mean, I don't think Bo Nix is giving you 40 every week. Like Drake May, I've already said my piece, and we have a slap bet on where Drake May is going to finish as a quarterback. I don't think he's going to end up in the top 10 right now. I think he sits at like 4 or 5, but like I don't like his depth is a question. Like, is he feeling great about starting Kimani Vidal moving forward? I don't know. I mean, Travis Etienne's been very questionable. Kyren Williams, I don't like the fact that he traded away Justin Jefferson for Kyren Williams.
Yeah.
His team's still good. I think Tet is good. I think Ladd McConkey eventually will start to. I mean, his wide receivers, I think, are just they haven't performed, and maybe they'll do better moving forward. But like, yeah, I'm just his team is good, which is why coming into it, I think I gave him a B-.
You did.
Like his team is good.
And I guess
not great.
I also have a little bit of recency bias in my grades. Scotty was a top 4 scorer the last 2 weeks, but I agree.
I mean, he's fourth in points scored right now. I mean, he's solid.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with your analysis. The grade average is out to a B, which I think is kind of the right grade for Scotty. So that gets us to Zach. Zach was my B. And again, I think I was a little bit more generous in my grading than you were overall. But I mean, Zach is again another team much like Scotty's that is kind of just fine. I don't. His roster doesn't blow me away, but he has been in the top half of the scoring. I think the last 4 weeks running. He's really only had, I think, one bad week. It was week 3. He didn't do great in week 2 either, but no matter what, Zach's grade I graded for the first. Obviously, these are midseason grades. I'm grading for the first half of the season. I do have concerns that if I'm factoring in Jaden Daniels' injury, if I'm factoring in
and no more Mike Evans,
it might be closer to a B-, C+ as far as where I think he's headed. But I can't grade a student based on how I think he's going to do in the second semester. I have to grade him based on how he did in the first half of the year, right? I have to grade him based on the results I've seen. And the results I've seen are he's a solid B. He's okay.
I think I'm very much just in he's okay. He's 6th in points scored. And he gets the box factor of bumping up a couple of spots there. He's 4th in the standings. And I do understand that he does have the most points against by, I think it's a pretty close amount. I don't think he's like massively far away from the next person, but like he's been okay. And I think that's, if I'm remembering correctly, I think I gave him a C. And again, it's just, he's right there in the middle of the table. Like it wouldn't surprise me if he's in 6th. He's currently in 4th. He just as easily could be sitting in like 7th or 8th with 6th in points scored.
So that averages his grade out to a B- because it would have been on the B- C+ borderline, and we rounded up. So that gets us to one of the more interesting grades here, Brad. We talked about started 4-0, looked like he was destined for a bye, destined for a dominant season. We were talking about could he go undefeated, and then he drops 3 straight. He is bottom 3 in points scored as the season sits today, which is just a crazy thing to say about a team above 500 that started out 4-0. And so ultimately, and he is still because of that game with James, he has been the person who's been scored on the least. So the question is, where do I see Brad's team? The answer is, I gave him a C. And that was again based on how he's done the first half of the year. He went from an A to a C in the span of 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think his team is just such a hard thing to like. After like the first 2 weeks, I was like, damn, I'm out on Brad's team. His team, like, there's too many injuries. I think of all the people who are like 2, 3, and 0, you got to feel like bad about where he sits. And then the next 2 weeks happened, and there were more injuries to other people. And then he sits at 4-0, and then his team looked even better. And I was like, oh, I'm back to being all in. I'm back on Brad being the team of destiny. And then here we are 3 weeks later, and 3 losses, 3 bad scores. So if I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember what I sent off to you. I believe I gave him a D plus,
That is correct.
if I remember correct. Just like it's bad, and I don't think it's getting better. Like, I'm looking at how his team looks now, and I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm back to where I was in week 2, where I'm just like, the injuries are too much of a problem. Justin Fields is now irrelevant, which after like the first like 3, 4 weeks of the season, he was. I mean, yeah. What was it? 5 weeks into the season, he had 3 games above 25 points. He looked great. But
Justin Fields could get benched.
Justin Fields is benched. They have said they're starting Tyrod Taylor this week.
Oh,
Brock Purdy has not been healthy, and I'm going to be real. The 49ers look worse when Purdy's in the game. Like, Trey Benson is on IR. I mean, he obviously. I mean, Saquon Barkley, who he used, I'm pretty sure, as his first round pick, sits as running back 15. Like, the Eagles' run offense is just not good right now. And Jordan Mason, at some point, who do you start between Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason? I don't know, man. Like, Drake London's at 19. I guess Alvin Kamara, I don't know. I don't think he drafted him super high, but like, he's running back 28. Do you feel good about starting him? I mean, I don't know. It's just there's so many people on his team. Like, I just don't feel good about starting them. And Devontae Smith just had a 30-point day and sits as wide receiver 14. Like, he's just so, like, he puts up 3, he puts up 7, he puts up 6, he puts up 4, he puts up 15, he puts up 7, he puts up 30. Like, in any given week, Brad can go out there and just put up 90. That's the problem. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not high on where he is right now. I gave him a D plus.
I think I have a recency bias.
I think that's my thing too. I do think I also have the recency bias of, I was so high on him, and he's been so bad the last 3 weeks that, like,
he has been the lowest scorer 2 of the last 3 weeks, and the only other week in the last 3 he was the third lowest. He has had a bad stretch. You know, I think, but for his schedule, he could easily be 2 and 5 and in 8th place. I mean, yeah. That is the most striking thing about Brad, is a lot of people with Brad's schedule would be, there's at least 4 people who would have 6 wins with Brad's schedule. But if you're actually looking at, for Brad, what his schedule will be with a lot of people, it's 4 and 3 is the best he could have done. He would have been 2 and 5 or 3 and 4 with other people's schedules. He is hitting as high as he can. So all that to say, he got a C minus on our average, which I think is more than a fair grade for him. And now I move to me. I am obviously kind of an interesting wild card in this analysis because of my high points scored compared to my place in the standings. It's huge to be 3 and 4. Again, I will point out that the 3 and 4 is the worst record I would have had at this with any schedule in the league, and I could have been as good as 5 and 2, but whatever the case may be. But I would say that I am overall, if we're playing matchups against matchups, if we played everybody every week, you'd be 49 and 14. You absolutely crush everybody, Jerry. But there are 2 people who would be tied for second in that standings, and it would be myself and Alex at 38 and 25 against all teams. Looking at my team, I think I have been very fortunate to get 3 wins because I've been navigating a lot of injuries. Lamar, George Kittle,
Kyler.
Kyler. I've had to deal with Puka now. Chris Godwin hasn't been a major factor, but now Mike gets some work with Mike Evans out. There's a lot to like about my roster right now, and it's actually looking like after this week, knock on wood, everybody should finally be healthy. So I have yet to really tap into my fullest potential, I think. Short of maybe 1 or 2 weeks in like weeks 3 or 4, if I can't remember correctly. But all that to say, I gave myself a B plus, and I think I was a little bit generous, but I'm gonna be generous to myself.
You've been kind of, I feel like, generous for just about everybody. So
Yeah,
I don't blame you for doing that, especially because obviously this is the one consensus ranking that we've had so far. I also gave you a B plus. I think all things considered, with the injuries you've had, your team has just continued. Somebody has stepped up somewhere to help you stay right there in the thick of it.
yeah.
You're only one game back of being in the top 5, and in the bottom 5, you are almost 100 points clear of the next closest person. So like, even if you do somehow continue to have your bad luck with your play or with your scheduling, you stay in the bottom 5. I think it's really hard for you to not still end up in the playoffs. I do have some questions about your depth, but like, people just keep putting up points. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, and again, you're getting Lamar back. Probably after the bye, you're getting Puka back, which helps. George Pickens might have a little bit of a downgrade with CD back.
CD coming back,
obviously,
we'll see.
I mean, obviously he had like 2, like, I think like massive, or like 2 or 3, like, he had a 3-week stretch there where he was averaging what? That's 30, 57, 70 points over 3 weeks. Like, he was 23, 24 points per game. And obviously his targets essentially got cut in half this week with CD back, but still went 4 for 82.
Yeah,
so there's some questions there, but you know what happens when that happened? Hey, look, Chris Olave comes to life as his best game of the season. So like, I feel like because of that, you always have somebody that seems to like step up to help you stay right where you need to be.
Yeah. So with us having a consensus grade, it means I do in fact get a B plus. Joining Alex for the second highest grade we have so far. And that gets us to McMillan. McMillan's an interesting case as well. He's right. He's actually outscoring Zach, who sits in 4th, but is only 1 game behind him. McMillan obviously didn't have a great week this week, although ironically he would have been. I think he finished 6th in in scoring this past week. I gave McMillan a C plus, and again, if I'm going to give Brad a C, and I'm grading McMillan compared to Brad, I would say I'd rather have McMillan's team at this point in time. I think McMillan, again, looking at his head-to-head record with any schedule in the league, he would have 3 wins. This is the worst case scenario for his standings, generally speaking. He is 5th in overall record in terms of like every team plays every team. I think what is difficult about McMillan's team is it's like I mentioned with Jason's players. McMillan's team is another like boom. He's a true boom or bust. He was week 1, he was the second lowest scorer. Week 2, he was the highest scorer. Week 3, he was the 3rd highest scorer. Skipping week 4, week 5, he was the 2nd highest scorer. Week 5, he was the highest scorer. The very next week, he's the 2nd lowest. Like, he's just he's either in the top 3 or the bottom 3.
Yeah.
And so that kind of consistency can be very frustrating, because especially for a team in the playoffs, because, well, hey, one bad week and you're done. You don't get another chance.
Yeah, this is true. I look at his team, and you're right. I do think I would prefer his team over Brad's right now. So I also gave him a C plus.
Sorry.
Like I said, there's things to like. Jamar Chase with Joe Flacco looks like a completely different player. He does have the number 1 tight end in fantasy. Emeka Egbuka's like he's
the only.
It was a big, yeah, exactly. It was a big question. He's been in that like borderline top 5 wide receivers with everybody out. Okay, Mike Evans comes back, but now Mike Evans is gone. So like, I mean, he has Jared Goff, who's borderline top 10. Do you think David Montgomery really hasn't lived up to his full potential that he had done last year? Again, I still think there's some depth questions on his team, especially like Chuba Hubbard, pretty much exactly a timeshare split this last week with Rico Dowdle. Again, I think I like his team. There is a lot of boom or bust in there. But if Jamar Chase is going to go out there and get 23 freaking targets a game,
they literally would just not stop throwing to him. It was
amazing. No, it was
and
crazy.
Terrifying when I was being the person who was playing against him. So McMillan is our second consensus grade in a row and gets a C+. Moving now to Jason Smith's grade, and I just hit the button, so I won't undo that. I gave Jason Smith a D, and I didn't want to give Jason Smith a D, but I had to. I felt like,
yeah.
I mean, he is, I would say, the second worst team in the league. And I don't know how, because again, as with all of his teams, it looks good on paper. But
yeah,
if you want to know something crazy about Jason Smith's team? If he had the other Jason schedule, he'd be winless right now. He'd be 0-7.
Damn.
Like, hasn't.
He's the second least amount of points scored against. Like,
he's never been top 3 in scoring. He's second in the league in total points scored. But for James, he would be the worst. I just don't see an alternative. And I'm not saying, like, we talked about his team in general. You talked about some of his top 5 players. Like, there's a path to get this right for Jason, but he's got to get wide receivers that hit.
Yeah. And so, yeah, 3 in a row of consensus rankings. This is crazy. I also give him a D, and I like the potential that his team has. It just needs to be cohesive. Like, I need it to come together at some point, because I believe in his players. Like, if there's anyone, like, if I'm trying to trade with anybody in the last few weeks here, like, I think we have 4 weeks left before the trade deadline hits. If there's any team that I'm like looking at, it's like, no, there's a bunch of people on his team that I would be like interested in trading for.
Yeah.
I just don't know how it has produced so little points. And obviously, like you said, he's had a pretty favorable schedule. So he's lucky to be 3-4 with the points that he's put up.
Hugely lucky. Like, 3-4, I'm pretty sure is the best. No, I'm sorry. If he had Brad's schedule, he would be 5. That's so crazy. If he had Brad's schedule, he'd be 5-2. That's nuts.
That's even crazier, because he is like those two are 1-2 for the bottom, like, points against.
Yeah.
Just Brad happens to have an extra 50-point cushion over Jason there. That's crazy. 5-2, man. Like, fantasy, we're just flipping coins. God damn
it. So moving on to Window. Window is still, like I said, right in kind of the thick of things. You know, I think he's unlucky to be 2-5. He is towards the top in terms of points against. Obviously not as bad as Zach, but like, he's up there with Alex and James and who else? Myself and Scotty, and
he's like, I mean, he's right in the middle of the road. He's 5th in points against.
Yeah.
But he's also, I think, like 7th in points for. Probably a little unlucky to be 2-5. He had a bad week. I mean, ruining Wilt Watch for everybody is kind of a dick move, but
yeah, I know. I don't think he meant to. I did give him a C, and I think maybe in hindsight, maybe I should have gone C-. I don't know, but I think a C is more than fair for Window, because again, I feel like there are some players on his team who have had monster games this year. I mean, Rico Dowdle looks like a huge steal. Justin Jefferson, we talked about. I thought he got the better side of that trade. Bijan is a top 3 running back. Quentin Johnson's still wide receiver 10 because of how he started the year. You talked about depth concerns. I'm not concerned about my depth, but I am concerned about Window's depth. This is a team with real depth concerns, and I know he has Brock Bowers on IR. That's going to be a huge win beneath his wings. But the real question for Window, like I said, is, you know, Jackson Dart's your answer at quarterback. Who are you starting between Caleb Williams and CJ Stroud? Right now, I go Williams because he's kind of ride the hot hand, especially with a good matchup this week. But like, he's got to hit that matchup right. And he's got to figure out, I think, at wide receiver, the right matchups there. But
I mean,
overall,
I think Justin Jefferson was on bye last week, so like he finally actually gets Jefferson. No, actually, that was the week before that he was on bye. So I only got 10 points out of him against Philly. I think, yeah, he has the receivers to do something. I think once Lamar comes back, Zay Flowers gets a huge bump. Not that Zay
true.
Flowers is going to be a top 5 guy, but I think he's not wide receiver 30. Probably falls more
Somewhere in
into
the
that
middle.
wide receiver 2 or flex range. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I gave Window a C minus. Again, I think he's been a little unlucky with the scheduling. He obviously, I can't give him anything higher than a C minus when, like I said, he ruined Woat Watch. So
So that means his grade average is out, rounding up to a C. And that brings us to James.
and I don't want to spend too much time on this
James.
because
I mean,
when we get into points, so he is like not even getting a ton of points scored on him. He is fourth from the bottom. So yeah, he's what 10, 9, 8, 7th in points against. His points for is just like there's me. There's a little bit of a drop. There's a group of like in the 900 range. There's a little bit of a drop. They're like in that mid 800s range. There's a little bit of a drop down to 800, a little bit of a drop to 772. And there's a big like 6 feet of shit. 100 points later is James. Like this is why like I don't know where the freaking poll is at now, but like no one should be voting on him making the playoffs.
it was 70
almost
it was 3 out of 4 voted no, 1 voted yes.
like there's no shot. He's 3 games back on 5th. And like I said, right now with where you are sitting there in the bottom 5, he's like, I'm trying to like actually look at it right now. He's almost 300 points back for the wild card. He is 280
if
points
Brad
back.
falls into the wild card conversation instead of me, and if I move up,
you're right. He's only 130 back.
No, he's 200 because McMillan is still the lowest scorer out of the top 6 scorers would be Zach or McMillan, who is sit around 880. So he is still 210 points essentially out of wild card contention, which is essentially effectively an extra game. Like,
so yeah, you want to go ahead and throw out your grade there?
So all of our grades were Fs. Let's pull the Band-Aid. All of our grades were Fs for James.
He would have gotten an F minus if he had
lost. Yeah, I agree. I literally thought the same thing. Had he gone 0-7 and still been on that degree of like category 5 Woat Watch, yes, absolutely, he would have had an F minus. He would have been my first F minus. The thing with James is he has been the worst scorer in the league 3 out of the 7 weeks of the season so far, and one of the, like, he has been.
I'm surprised it's only that low.
He has been. Well, no, get this though. Here's where it gets really bad. He has been in the bottom 3 in scoring all of the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, week 1 he like had an okay week, and then after that,
bottom 6 all the last, or bottom 3 all the last 6 weeks. That's really hard to do that level of bad. And we talked about ad nauseum. There's just no hope, not only in the standings picture, but on his team. There's no hope to get. I mean, I understand he won without Allen or Henry, but he won with less than 100. That's a miracle. I just don't see a way back for James. I don't see a way this season gets better. Honestly, at this point, he is playing to avoid the Sacco, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
and if anyone has ever deserved it more,
we'll see. Woat Watch is not dead. So now we get to our regularly scheduled programming. Before we get to predictions, I just want to talk about prediction accuracy because we have more of that to do. We both went 2 for 5 this past week, which puts me at 20-15 for the first half of the year. You at 16-19, 4 games back from me. But we're both around 500 in terms of our predictions. Looking at top 3, bottom 3, I nailed you. We both were terribly wrong on Jason Smith, it appears. We both nailed James being bottom 3, and you owe Alex an apology because he is now in the top 3 in both record and points scored, and you had him in the bottom 3. So that's where we stand on our predictions so far. Now we get to our predictions upcoming. So starting with our
Your
commissioners
James bye.
matchup, and my James. Oh wait, sorry, wrong one. My James bye. It's so beautiful. I've waited so long for this. I've waited 8 weeks for this. Oh, and I'm so mad. I'm missing one check mark. Damn it.
Can you reroute somebody into that position to?
Um. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I want to see all the check marks. Oh no, I can't. Hold on.
I don't think he can. I don't think he can.
I'm gonna try.
Now, obviously, he has not set his lineup. He has people on bye. Really wish he'd not wait until like 2 p.m. on Sundays to set his lineup. I wish he would do it a little earlier. But let's not spend too much time on this. Who are you picking?
I am picking me, obviously.
Yeah, I'm picking you.
Cool. Let's move on.
Watch actually does continue, but it's just not as exciting.
All right, hold on really quick. Let me just see if I did it. Wrong matchup. Hold on. Come on. I'm only gonna do this one more time. Damn it! I still screwed up. That's all right. Anyway, we're moving on. Alex versus McMillan, the former battle of Hagerstown. I don't know. Has McMillan set his team? Because holy balls, Alex is projected to win by 23.
Looks like he has, yeah.
With Jameer
he's
Gibbs on bye. I understand Dave Montgomery's also on bye, and Goff and Genty are, but damn, that's rough. That's a bad time, Bob.
So obviously we'll go down a little bit once he's able to start a defense that is not on bye.
Sure, but it's
so
still
that it'll be probably more in the 15-point range.
Still a significant.
That's true. And despite that, I'm going McMillan.
Wow. Tell me why.
I think just kind of the same boomer bust thing. I think Baker Mayfield getting New Orleans, much better matchup. Jamar Chase is, again, 23 targets. Emeka Ibuka, he gets the stack with Baker Mayfield. Emeka Ibuka without Mike Evans there. He has Tua in there right now, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Playing a very good Falcons pass D.
But who knows? Maybe this is maybe Tua bounces back. Tua bounces back. Who knows?
McMillan did say he has claims in,
and of course he does. Like obviously that's going to be a thing for everyone this week with all the bye situations. And I'm actually kind of curious before I speak about this because I believe it's a good matchup, but I could be wrong. So before I say, yeah, DJ Moore getting a really favorable matchup against Baltimore. I like I said, I think McMillan's going to be able to come out and shock Alex, and it's just going to like solidify me at the top of the standings.
So, you are correct that McMillan does have some pretty favorable matchups this week with regard to the Bucks stack, and Chuba also has a good
I think
matchup.
all of his wide receivers, I think, are just going to
DJ Moore. They've got some good matchups. So Alex has some good matchups too. Breece Hall and Rachaad White both play porous run defenses in the Bengals in New Orleans. I do think Jordan Love should do well against Pittsburgh, even at Acrisure. I think Alex just has such even without Jahmyr Gibbs, has a much higher floor here.
I think he does have a higher floor.
And so I think that carries the day. I'm going to go with the chalk here, and I'm going to say Alex. So, and actually, give me 1 sec. I'm going to move on to the third matchup, and I'm going to let you introduce this one and predict the one between Scotty and Jason so that I can put in our predictions.
All right. Yeah, so looking at it right now, very split, projected within a point. I just don't know about Scotty's team. Like, he does get Tennessee. Drake May's been playing well, but Cleveland actually does play defense. I think I just really like Jason's running back situation right now. Who knows what Xavier Rhodes is going to do with Rashee Rice there, but like, no Garrett Wilson. My heart says Jason. I'm going with Shake That Burr.
Shake that burr. So, I am surprised the projection is this close. I think Kyren is the most significant bye week loss for either team. And I think that not having either Kyren or really Travis Etienne for that matter, the fact that Vidal has been solid, but the fact that he doesn't have that choice, he's got to start Vidal with Taylor. And he's starting. He's forced to start Ayo Minor unless he's going to start Ridley, who's also questionable. Scotty is such a better team overall, and again, I'm having a hard time this week getting over.
I like Jason's players. I believe in them. I believe in him.
I get it.
I believe in the players.
I get it. I am
2 top 5 quarterbacks, 2 top 10 running backs. I think his wide receivers have upside. I believe in them.
You know what? You swayed me. I agree with you. I am going to pick Jason this week. I agree with you, but I think this is as close. You talked about must win last week against Brad.
Jason needs another win. He needs it.
He needs to run off wins here. He is too far back in points to afford any more losses. So especially he has an opportunity here to go to 4-4 and knock Scotty down to 4-4. So it'd be
a big win for him.
A big opportunity. I'm gonna pick Jason to do it. That leads us to our fourth matchup. Zach versus Window. And is it must win for Window?
I think it is must win for Window. And this might be the week that he gets it, just because look at the bye week situation.
Yeah.
No Brian Thomas Jr., no Marvin Harrison. Bucky Irving is still questionable. Mike Evans is gone.
No Darnold.
No Sam Darnold. I mean, Deebo Samuel might be back, but if it's not Jaden Daniels, you don't feel nearly as good about it.
Yeah. Jaden Daniels, who knows? I mean, he's questionable, right? Like,
yeah, and exactly. Like Jaden Daniels might play, maybe he doesn't. And
yeah.
And if he's down 2 quarterbacks this week, he's going to have to pick up some. I mean, I think he picked up Marcus Mariota earlier in the season when Daniels was gone. So,
yeah, apparently Dan Quinn says that the hamstring isn't a long-term issue, but he is questionable for this week.
Yeah, I'm going. So, I mean, I'm afraid to bet against the box.
I get that,
but I think Window needs the win. I think he has the better matchups. I think he has the more full team this week. He's not as much in a bye week situation. I'm going Window.
I totally get the logic. I'm looking at the matchups quickly, because it's the one thing I didn't take a look at. Yeah, I think Pollard and Mondre both have kind of tough matchups, and Dowd. I mean, so when in doubt, like I said, look to the matchups. I love for Window the fact that Bijan gets the Dolphins. They've allowed like a massive rusher all the last 3 weeks. Quinshawn had a hat trick on him. Dowdle put up 200 points on him. Who else? There was at least one other running back who dominated against them. The Dolphins give up tons on the ground to fantasy running backs, so Bijan should eat. Rico Dowdle, Buffalo's run D isn't better. Caleb Williams plays Baltimore. Their pass D is atrocious. This is must win for Window. I think he gets it. I agree with you.
All right. So
that leaves us with your matchup against Brad. Man, really tough for Brad. We talked about how it's kind of stopped the bleeding mode, and he gets the buzzsaw.
But I am in bye week hell. Look at my current lineup.
You didn't set your lineup?
I set my lineup. This is the most of a lineup I could set before waivers.
Woof.
I need 2 wide receivers and a quarterback.
Woof.
Just to go out there and have a lineup. Like JSN, Devontae Adams, even Jameson Williams, who at this point, if anybody wants Jameson Williams, literally, I will take anything. I want him off my team more than anything in the world. Offer me literally anything, and I will probably give him to you.
I don't think I've ever seen this on the podcast before. Like an owner actively shopping player like, give me the Wes Welker situation. Give me 3 footballs. You can have this man.
That's all I'm looking for at this point. No, so like I know I've mentioned to pretty much everybody in the league like the 10 to 10K challenge that people do, and how I've done it before. And there's a guy that I follow who like 2-3 years ago who he made it to like day 9 before like he ended up crashing out. I didn't participate this time around. He made it to day 10. He had 5 legs, 4 of the legs have hit. His final leg was Jamison Williams to score or to get 15 receiving yards, and he gave up a goose egg. He got literally 0, and he crashes out on day 10.
That's sick.
On 15 yards from Jamison Williams.
That's sick.
Jamison Williams has not had a good season. He had a good week last week, not this most recent week, but the week before. I think he ended up having close to 100 yards. It's crazy though.
That's gross.
I am just so done with Jamison Williams. I like thought about before last week trying to trade him because he finally had a decent week. Maybe I could have like sold somewhat high on him. I didn't know what I'd even be able to get. I need him off my team. I can't stand it anymore. Every week I sit here and think about starting him because like the upside is there. And at this point, I don't need any more upside. I have the players. I have the players to keep my floor high enough. I don't need to be like betting on lottery tickets here.
Here's the
so anyways, I got a lot to do this week to make my team like a normal lineup.
So who do you pick?
I just don't know how I picked myself, knowing I have to.
I knew you're going to do this every week. Every week.
I'm having to pick up a quarterback and 2 waiver wire wide receivers just to have a starting lineup.
Call him out in the chat, folks. He does it every week.
Just really quick, looking at Brad's team, he has Justin Fields in his thing. He has the check mark for Justin Fields right now, who is not projected to start. He's projected for 0.9 points. We're close right now. Add 15 points for his projection there. Oh, by the way, he has Amon-Ra sitting on his bench. Hey, add another 11. Like literally add 26 to his projection right now just by putting in Purdy and Devontae.
You also have 3 players out.
I know that, and I'm gonna find people. I don't think I'm gonna find as good of a player as Devonta Smith.
Scott is picking Brad too. Wow.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how I pick myself in the situation. Like Brad finds me in the perfect week. This is my worst week for buys.
So I'm picking you.
Wow. Like, thanks. I like the vote of confidence. I just don't.
No, here's the thing you haven't again. So you both have good matchups this week, but like when your guys go off, and Saquon could have a great day against the Giants. Jordan Mason could have a good day against the Chargers. But you talked about the Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones situation that's eventually going to rear its ugly head. I don't think this is the week, but I do think I think Kamara gets the Bucks. They're not a great run D. The real concern for me in playing you is Devon Achane has been the only catalyst for the Dolphins. He's been their entire offense. So he has been an absolute lock. He is running back 5. That's your second best running back because you have Christian McCaffrey, who just dropped, what did he drop, 35 again this week? I mean, Christian McCaffrey, so far this year, 18.7, 19.7, 19, 23, 23, 20, and 35. Like,
yes, Christian McCaffrey has been very, very good.
He's a monster. You also have Jalen Hurts, the number 2 quarterback in fantasy football, who, again, has yet to have, with the exception of week 2, has put up at least 20 points, more or less, every week. Your floor is just so stupid high. You can pick your poison between your. Honestly, I'm surprised. I'm sure you're making I assume you're making offers to try to ship a running back for a wide receiver because you have 4 amazing ones at this point in time.
Every time I've tried to talk to somebody about it, nobody wants any of them.
I mean, if
just it.
Maybe we could work out a deal with like one of my starting with like maybe a Cortland Sutton or a George Pickens or Chris Olave or a Stephon Diggs. See if we can't make something happen. I want my boy Achane. But I just think your floor is so ridiculously high compared to Brad's. We've seen what Brad's floor is. It's this week where he finishes last in scoring and puts up less than 90. You have a floor that right now would put up 90. You were saying I don't see how you pick, how you pick yourself. I don't see how you don't. I'm an A+ for a reason. I'm picking you.
All right, I get it, and I'd like to pick myself.
But you're only cautiously optimistic.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
So that is our podcast. Thank you all who stuck with us for the entire hour 20. We appreciate you. The last thing I'll say is, and let me fix that. The last thing I'll say is, you know, I had a scheduling conflict arise with regard to the second, so I was forced to do the league event for my birthday this coming Sunday. So I know there was talk in the chat about Zach's allergies. You know, I'm totally fine hosting here too. We can hammer out whether it'll be my place or Scotty's place, but plan for it to be in Frederick. And we'll have some chips and pizza, watch the games, and get a league event in. I know, Jerry, you won't be able to make it. I'm sorry that it fell on the weekend you're not here. But maybe we can FaceTime you in or something. But yeah, I'm excited to see you guys on Sunday for those that can make it, and get a proper league event in right after midseason grades. It'll be a lot of fun to talk about now. So without further ado, shout out to Scotty, McMillan, Birchak, and Window, all in the chat at different points in time. Shout out to the rest of you who watch this after the fact. Shout out to James, who won't watch it but is still going to be on Won't Watch anyway for at least one more week. And we'll see you guys next week. Hope you enjoy your grades. Good luck this week in your matchups. I don't need luck because I'm playing James. I will be so angry. So angry.